Hello, future teachers of the Philippines. Welcome to this general education review session designed to help you ace the licensure examination for teachers. I'm teacher Roslyn, and I'll be your facilitator today.
Question 24. What is 25% of 80? A. 10, B. 15, C. 20, D. 25. Answer: C. 20. Explanation: to find a percentage of a number, you can convert the percentage to a decimal or a fraction and then multiply. 25% is equivalent to 0.25 as a decimal, or 1/4 as a fraction. So, 0.25 times 80 equals 20, or 1/4 times 80 equals 20. Question 25. Simplify the expression 3, 2x minus 5, minus 2x plus 4, A. 4x minus 23, B. 4x minus 7, C. 8x minus 23, D. 8x minus 7. Answer: A. 4x minus 23. First, distribute the numbers outside the parentheses. 3 multiplied by 2x and by minus 5 gives 6x 15. Then, minus 2 multiplied by x and by 4 gives minus 2x 8. Combine these terms. 6x 2x plus minus 15 8 equals 4x 23. Question 26. If the average of 4 numbers is 15, and 3 of the numbers are 10, 18, and 12, what is the fourth number? A. 15, B. 20, C. 25, D. 30. Answer: B. 20. The average of a set of numbers is their sum divided by the count of numbers. If the average of 4 numbers is 15, their total sum must be 15 times 4 equals 60. The sum of the 3 given numbers is 10 plus 18 plus 12 equals 40. To find the fourth number, subtract the sum of the 3 numbers from the total sum. 60 to 40 equals 20. Question 27. What is the probability of rolling a prime number on a standard 6-sided die? A. 1/6, B. 1/3, C. 1/2, D. 2/3. Answer: C. 1/2. A standard 6-sided die has faces numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The prime numbers within this set are 2, 3, and 5. A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that has no positive divisors other than 1 and itself. There are 3 prime numbers out of a total of 6 possible outcomes. Therefore, the probability is 3/6, which simplifies to 1/2. Question 28. Which of the following best describes the concept of cognitive dissonance? A. The tendency to seek out information that confirms one's existing beliefs. B. The mental discomfort experienced when holding conflicting beliefs, values, or performing contradictory actions. C. The process of attributing one's own thoughts and feelings to others. D. The inability to accurately perceive and interpret social cues. Answer: B. The mental discomfort experienced when holding conflicting beliefs, values, or performing contradictory actions. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological discomfort or tension that arises when a person holds 2 or more conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. For example, knowing smoking is bad for your health, belief, but continuing to smoke, behavior, creates dissonance. The other options describe confirmation bias, A. Projection, C. Or a social perception issue, D. Not cognitive dissonance specifically.
Question 29. In ecological succession, which of the following represents a pioneer species? A. Large, long-lived trees. B. Mature, complex ecosystems. C. Lichens and small annual plants. D. Dominant predator species. Answer. C. Lichens and small annual plants. Pioneer species are the first organisms to colonize and establish themselves in a barren or disturbed environment, initiating the process of ecological succession. Lichens and small, fast-growing annual plants are classic examples because they are hardy, can survive in harsh conditions, and contribute to early soil formation, paving the way for other species. Large trees are part of later successional stages, and mature ecosystems are the result of succession, while dominant predators appear much later in established ecosystems. Question 30. Which of the following artistic techniques is most associated with creating the illusion of depth and three-dimensionality on a flat surface? A. Pointillism. B. Sfumato. C. Perspective. D. Impasto. Answer. C. Perspective. Perspective is an artistic technique used to create the illusion of spatial depth and three-dimensionality on a two-dimensional surface, such as a painting or drawing. It involves using various methods, like vanishing points and converging lines, to make objects appear smaller and closer together the farther away they are from the viewer. Pointillism involves dots of color, sfumato is a soft blending technique, and impasto is applying thick paint for texture, none of which primarily create depth illusion. Question 31. If a country imposes a tariff on imported goods, what is the most likely immediate economic effect? A. An increase in the supply of imported goods. B. A decrease in the price of domestic goods. C. An increase in the price of imported goods. D. A decrease in domestic production. Answer. C. An increase in the price of imported goods. A tariff is a tax imposed by a government on imported goods. This additional cost is typically passed on to consumers, making the imported goods more expensive in the domestic market. Consequently, an immediate effect is an increase in the price of those imported goods. This usually leads to a decrease in imported goods supply, and may lead to an increase in domestic production. Question 32. Which of the following best illustrates the concept of natural selection? A. Farmers selectively breeding cows that produce more milk. B. A caterpillar transforming into a butterfly through metamorphosis. C. Individuals with traits better suited to their environment surviving and reproducing more successfully. D. A plant growing towards a source of light. Answer. C. Individuals with traits better suited to their environment surviving and reproducing more successfully. Natural selection is a fundamental mechanism of evolution where organisms that possess heritable traits, characteristics passed down from parents, that are advantageous for survival and reproduction in a specific environment are more likely to survive and pass on those traits to their offspring. Over time, this leads to the accumulation of favorable traits within a population. Option A describes artificial selection. B is a developmental process within an organism, and D is a physiological response, tropism. Question 33. What is the primary function of the legislative branch in a presidential system of government? A. To enforce laws and administer government policies. B. To interpret laws and resolve legal disputes. C. To make laws and allocate government funds. D. To command the armed forces and conduct foreign policy. Answer. C. To make laws and allocate government funds. In a presidential system, the legislative branch, e.g., Congress or Parliament, is primarily responsible for creating, debating, and passing laws, as well as controlling the government's budget and allocating public funds. Enforcing laws, A, is the role of the executive branch, interpreting laws, B, is the role of the judicial branch, and commanding armed forces and conducting foreign policy, D, are typically executive functions. Question 34. Which of the following literary devices involves a contradiction between what is said and what is actually meant? A. Metaphor. B. Irony. C. Hyperbole. D. Understatement. Answer. B. Irony. Irony is a literary device characterized by a contradiction or incongruity between what is stated or expected and what actually is, or what is intended. Verbal irony, in particular, involves a contrast between what is said and what is actually meant, often for humorous or emphatic effect. Metaphor, A, is a direct comparison, hyperbole, C, is an exaggeration, and understatement, D, minimizes something, none of which specifically involve the core contradiction of irony.
Question 35. The concept of supply and demand is a fundamental principle in A. Sociology, B. Psychology, C. Economics, D. Political science. Answer. C. Economics. Supply and demand is a core principle in economics that explains how the price and quantity of goods and services in a market are determined. It describes the relationship between the quantity of a product or service that producers are willing to offer, supply, and the quantity that consumers are willing to buy, demand, at various prices. While human behavior and political factors influence markets, supply and demand are foundational to economic theory. Question 36. Which of the following is a major greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming? A. Oxygen, B. Nitrogen, C. Carbon dioxide, D. Helium. Answer. C. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, CO, is a significant greenhouse gas that plays a major role in global warming. It is released into the atmosphere primarily through human activities such as the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, and deforestation. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, leading to an increase in global temperatures. Oxygen, nitrogen, and helium are not considered major greenhouse gases. Question 37. If a poem does not follow a regular rhyme scheme or meter, it is best described as A. sonnet, B. A haiku, C. free verse, D. A ballad. Answer. C. Free verse. Free verse is a poetic form that does not adhere to a consistent or traditional rhyme scheme, meter, or stanza pattern. Instead, it relies on natural speech rhythms, the poet's unique voice, and the visual arrangement of lines to create its effect. A sonnet, haiku, and ballad all have specific structural and rhyming requirements that free verse intentionally avoids. Question 38. What is the primary goal of the World Health Organization, WHO? A. To promote international trade and economic cooperation. B. To maintain international peace and security. C. To direct and coordinate international health within the United Nations system. D. To provide financial assistance to developing countries. Answer. C. To direct and coordinate international health within the United Nations system. The World Health Organization, WHO, is a specialized agency of the United Nations dedicated to international public health. Its primary goal is to direct and coordinate global efforts to address health challenges, set health standards, and provide technical support to countries worldwide. Promoting trade, A, is for organizations like the WTO, maintaining peace, B, is for the UN Security Council, and financial assistance, D, is for bodies like the World Bank or IMF. Question 39. Which of the following is a key characteristic of a scientific theory? A. It is a guess or a hunch about how something works. B. It is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world, based on a vast body of evidence. C. It is an unchanging and absolute truth. D. It is primarily based on personal opinions and beliefs. Answer. B. It is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world, based on a vast body of evidence. In science, a theory is a comprehensive and well-substantiated explanation for a broad range of phenomena in the natural world. It is supported by an extensive body of empirical evidence, including facts, laws, inferences, and tested hypotheses, and has been repeatedly verified through observation and experimentation. Unlike a guess, A, or personal belief, D, it is rigorously tested and, while robust, is not an unchanging absolute truth, C, as it can be modified with new evidence. Question 40. Which of the following scenarios best illustrates the concept of cultural diffusion? A country celebrating its traditional holidays with unique customs. B, the spread of a popular music genre from one country to many others. C, a community maintaining its distinct language and traditions over generations. D, a government implementing policies to preserve its national heritage. Answer. B, the spread of a popular music genre from one country to many others. Cultural diffusion refers to the process by which cultural elements, such as ideas, practices, beliefs, technologies, or artistic forms, spread from one society or group to another. The widespread adoption of a music genre across different countries is a direct example of cultural diffusion. Options A, C, and D describe aspects of cultural preservation or internal cultural continuity, not the spread between distinct groups. Question 41. What is the value of square root 64 plus cubed square root 27? A, 5, B, 11, C, 17, D, 91. Answer. B, 11. To evaluate the expression, first find the square root of 64, which is 8, since 8 times 8 equals 64. Then, find the cube root of 27, which is 3, since 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. Finally, add these two values. 8 plus 3 equals 11.
Question 42. Solve the inequality. 3x minus 2 greater than 7. A, x greater than 5/3. B, x less than 3. C, x greater than 3. D, x less than 5/3. Answer. C, x greater than 3. To solve the inequality, first add 2 to both sides. 3x2 plus 2 greater than 7 plus 2, which simplifies to 3x greater than 9. Then, divide both sides by 3 to 3x, 3 greater than 9/3, which results in x greater than 3. Question 43. If a circle has a diameter of 10 units, what is its circumference? A, 5 pi units. B, 10 pi units. C, 25 pi units. D, 100 pi units. Answer. B, 10 pi units. The formula for the circumference of a circle is C equals pi d, where d is the diameter. Given that the diameter is 10 units, substitute this value into the formula. C equals pi times 10 equals 10 pi units. The other options involve incorrect formulas or calculations related to the radius or area. Question 44. What is the next number in the sequence? 2, 6, 12, 20. A. 24. B. 28. C. 30. D. 36. Answer. C. 30. To find the pattern, look at the differences between consecutive terms. 6 to 2 equals 4, 12 to 6 equals 6, 20 to 12 equals 8. The differences are increasing by 2 each time, 4, 6, 8. Following this pattern, the next difference should be 10. Adding 10 to the last term, 20, gives 20 plus 10 equals 30. This sequence can also be described by n plus 1, where n starts from 1. Question 45. If two angles are supplementary and one angle measures 65 degrees, what is the measure of the other angle? A. 25 degrees. B. 35 degrees. C. 115 degrees. D. 125 degrees. Answer. C. 115 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measures add up to exactly 180 degrees. If one angle is given as 65 degrees, to find the other angle, subtract 65 from 180. 180 minus 65 equals 115 degrees. Options A and B would apply if they were complementary angles, sum to 90 degrees, or are incorrect calculations. Question 46. A bag contains 3 red balls and 5 blue balls. If one ball is drawn at random, what is the probability that it is blue? A. 3/8. B. 5/8. C. 3/5. D. 5/3. Answer. B. 5/8. Probability is calculated as the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of possible outcomes. In this case, there are 5 blue balls, favorable outcomes, and a total of 3 plus 5 equals 8 balls in the bag, total possible outcomes. Therefore, the probability of drawing a blue ball is 5/8. Question 47. What is the slope of the line represented by the equation y equals minus 2x plus 5? A. Minus 5. B. Minus 2. C. 2. D. 5. Answer. B. Minus 2. A linear equation in the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope of the line and b represents the y-intercept. In the given equation, y equals minus 2x plus 5, the coefficient of x is minus 2. Therefore, the slope of the line is minus 2. The number 5 is the y-intercept, not the slope. Question 48. Which of the following best describes the role of a catalyst in a chemical reaction? A. It is consumed by the reaction. B. It increases the amount of product formed. C. It lowers the activation energy required for the reaction. D. It shifts the equilibrium of the reaction. Answer. C. It lowers the activation energy required for the reaction. A catalyst is a substance that speeds up the rate of a chemical reaction without being consumed in the process. It achieves this by providing an alternative reaction pathway that requires less activation energy, the minimum energy needed for a reaction to occur. Catalysts do not increase the total amount of product formed or shift the equilibrium position of a reversible reaction, they only help the reaction reach equilibrium faster. Question 49. In the context of genetics, what does the term recessive allele refer to? A. An allele that is always expressed when present. B. An allele that is only expressed when 2 copies of it are present. C. An allele that has no effect on the phenotype. D. An allele that is more common in the population. Answer. B. An allele that is only expressed when two copies of it are present. A recessive allele is a version of a gene whose trait is only expressed in the phenotype, the observable characteristics of an organism, when two identical copies of that allele are inherited, i.e., the individual is homozygous recessive. If a dominant allele is also present, the trait of the dominant allele will be expressed, masking the recessive allele's effect. Option A describes a dominant allele, and C is incorrect as recessive alleles do affect the phenotype under specific conditions.
Question 50. Which of the following is a primary function of the cell membrane? A. To produce energy for the cell. B. To store the cell's genetic material. C. To control the movement of substances into and out of the cell. D. To synthesize proteins. Answer. C. To control the movement of substances into and out of the cell. The cell membrane, also known as the plasma membrane, is a selectively permeable barrier that surrounds the cytoplasm of a cell. Its primary and vital function is to regulate the passage of molecules, ions, nutrients, and waste products both into and out of the cell, thus maintaining the cell's internal environment and enabling its essential functions. Producing energy, A, is mainly done by mitochondria, storing genetic material, B, is the nucleus's role, and synthesizing proteins, D, is the function of ribosomes. Question 51. Which of the following best describes the system of government in the Philippines? A. Parliamentary. B. Federal. C. Unitary presidential. D. Constitutional monarchy. Answer. C. Unitary presidential. The Philippines operates under a unitary presidential republic. This means that government power is highly centralized at the national level, unitary, and the president serves as both the head of state and head of government, presidential, exercising executive power independently of the legislative branch. A parliamentary system has a prime minister, a federal system divides power among states, and a constitutional monarchy has a monarch with limited powers. Question 52. Solve for the value of x in the equation. 2x minus 8 equals 12. A. 2. B. 4. C. 10. D. 20. Answer. C. 10. To solve for x, first, isolate the term with x by adding 8 to both sides of the equation. 2x8 plus 8 equals 12 plus 8, which simplifies to 2x equals 20. Then, divide both sides by 2 to find x. 2x, 2 equals 20 halves, so x equals 10. Substituting other options for x would not satisfy the equation. Question 53. Who is considered the father of Philippine independence? A. Jose Rizal. B. Andres Bonifacio. C. Emilio Aguinaldo. D. Apolinario Mabini. Answer. B. Andres Bonifacio. Andres Bonifacio is widely recognized as the father of Philippine independence, for founding and leading the Katipunan, a secret revolutionary society that initiated the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. While Jose Rizal's writings inspired the revolution and Emilio Aguinaldo was the first president of the First Philippine Republic, Bonifacio's direct role in sparking the armed struggle earned him this title. Question 54. Which of the following literary works is an epic poem about the adventures of a hero? A. The Little Prince. B. Beowulf. C. Pride and Prejudice. D. The Old Man and the Sea. Answer. B. Beowulf. Beowulf is an ancient Old English epic poem that narrates the heroic exploits and adventures of its titular character, a Geatish warrior who battles monsters and dragons. The other options are The Little Prince, A, is a novella, fable, Pride and Prejudice, C, is a novel of manners, and The Old Man and the Sea, D, is a novella, none of which fit the description of an epic poem. Question 55. What is the chemical symbol for iron? A, I, B, IR, C, Fe, D, In. Answer: C, Fe. The chemical symbol for the element iron is Fe. This symbol is derived from its Latin name, ferrum. The other symbols represent different elements: I for iodine, IR for iridium, and In for indium. Question 56. Evaluate the expression 4 to the power of 2 minus 3 times 5 minus 1 plus square root 16. A, 8, B, 12, C, 16, D, 20. Answer: A, 8. To evaluate this expression, follow the order of operations, PEMDAS, BODMAS, parentheses. 5 to 1 equals 4. Exponents: 4 to the power of 2 equals 16. Roots: square root 16 equals 4. Multiplication: 3 times 4 equals 12. Subtraction, addition, from left to right, 16 to 12 plus 4 equals 4 plus 4 equals 8. Any deviation from this order would lead to an incorrect result. Question 57. Which of the following natural phenomena is primarily caused by the gravitational pull of the Moon on Earth? A, earthquakes. B, volcanic eruptions. C, ocean tides. D, wind patterns. Answer: C, ocean tides. Ocean tides are primarily caused by the gravitational force exerted by the Moon on Earth. The Moon's gravity pulls on Earth's oceans, creating bulges of water on both the side of Earth closest to the Moon and the side furthest from it, resulting in the high and low tides. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are geological processes, while wind patterns are caused by atmospheric pressure differences due to solar heating.